At some point in their life, everybody here has either taken or has to take the SAT. First generation students have it bad, but not as bad as some other people in this world. And that's because the SAT is a discriminatory, it is old-fashioned, and it is no longer something that we need in our education system. Today, the SAT discriminates against income as well as mental status, and it doesn't quite encompass the well-rounded profile that a student must have to enter a college. The mean score for an SAT today is 1,059. That means that out of the 1,600 points possible, the mean score for an SAT student is a score that won't get them into most quality schools that they want to get into. Today, the SAT costs about $70 to take. For students in low-income areas and students without the proper resources in order to be able to take this test, that's an impossible task. And some might say, sure, well, they can take it at school. Some public schools provide the SAT to be able to take. That's not always the case. Taking the SAT for free is only the case in most of the time high income or median income level schools, which means that there is an entire underprivileged population of kids and high school students that don't get to take the SAT because of something their parents did or because they can't afford a summer job, no matter whether they may or may not be well-rounded students. Also, these schools can't provide them access to the PSAT to even see how they might do, or if they do provide them one SAT, most of the time kids don't get the perfect score on the first SAT and they have to take it again. The SAT also discriminates against mental status. What about students who don't have the mental capacity to be able to take the SAT within the time that is given to them, or take the SAT with an anxiety disorder, for example? The SAT doesn't take into account these types of students because it's built to test students under high pressure in an environment that they're not completely familiar with an outline that they don't have. Whenever you are tested over a subject in any school, the SAT takes into account, any test takes into account an outline that you may have, meaning you know what the subject is, you know what's going to be on the test. And high-achieving students can accomplish this with an outline. However, high-achieving students with a mental status that excludes this from doing so means that they are discriminated against by the SAT for time restrictions as well as anxiety restrictions due to high pressure. Finally, the SAT does not truly encompass the entire profile of what a student may be or what they might be able to accomplish within their lifespan or what they have already accomplished within their high school years. Personally, I know a lot of students, high-achieving students, students in the top 10, the top 5%, that had such well-rounded that had such rounded resumes, but couldn't get into the schools that they wanted to get into because their SAT scores were low. And that's not completely fair because it is discriminatory. And the hard, true facts of it is that the SAT is one of the first things that a school will look at when disqualifying applications. This means that you might be the most well-rounded student. You may have gotten 100 on all the tests before that, but if your SAT score isn't high enough for some of the schools that you want to apply to, they're going to disqualify you without ever looking at your application because your SAT score sucks. And this is the case for so many well-rounded and well-educated students today. This is the harsh reality presented to them by these schools. Even schools that say that they have holistic applications, the statistics say in some studies that most of these schools still consider SAT scores one of the highest disqualifying factors within these applications. This doesn't make for a well-rounded, doesn't make for a wholly encompassing application at all. The true reality of the SAT is that it's outdated and it's unfair to most students today. And it should be eliminated as a source of application material because it doesn't treat everybody as fairly as they should be. Thank you.
Thank you.